So let's say you met me in some cafe and you haven't seen me for a long time. Maybe
Actually,
5 years, something like that.
I mean, take two. I think it's a good place actually to start. Like how we met, right? So.
Dude.
Yeah.
I love this moment.
I have Sergii Dumyk here, the guy from Ukraine. He's working as a developer, artist, and just spirit. His spirit is like more like digital nomad and explorer, and it's actually a wonderful story that how I met this guy, and yeah, can you tell us the story? How's it started?
Yeah, I was trying to find ourselves with Ira, with my wife, here in San Francisco for a year, and I couldn't because it's hard. It's like it's unique. You need to find your own unique key for the city, right? It's not easy. It's not written in tourist,
And that was how long you've been here?
For a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And was trying and failed and completely, And then
fail in terms of what?
That I didn't come into at the heart of San Francisco. I wasn't able to find proper people.
But you like had a stable job and like you had like a visa, but you still like.
But I wanted something different, right?
Yeah.
I didn't want this stability. I wanted to find. So why this city is so special, right? I wanted to understand myself. Why is this the best city of America? Why is it different from Seattle or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's really hard. And I was hanging out in the city, going to a movie theater, and hanging out on Market Street.
It's just like, what did you do in America? Go to a movie theater?
Yeah, like in San Francisco, right? Imagine. And I didn't know what to do, right? It's hard. And so then I came back to Ukraine for some time to visit my mom and stuff. And I met an interesting guy in Poland city, which was going from Poland to Ukraine, which is a photographer, Jewish, from San Francisco.
Really?
And I met
like an American guy?
Yeah, American guy.
Born and raised.
And then he was also hanging out in Lviv. And I met him again 2 times. And I understood, oh, no, this is a good sign. He's a special. I met him like 3 times a day. And then after Lviv, we went to Kiev, to my city, again together, right? And this time we talked a lot about San Francisco, about art. And so I told him that I'm trying to get into San Francisco somehow, into art sphere and the heart. And he said, just create something like very unusual. And let's say, try to post advertisement.
This is crazy. Like the fact that you just went to Ukraine and met this guy who's from San Francisco and he just basically tell you like the secret. And you were like spending all the time
San Francisco.
Here.
But being where? In Ukraine. This is so special, right? And he said, he told me about all his cool projects that he was working on, and it was really cool to hear because he's like kind of like old guy. He was to lots of different projects, and he said, try to post advertisement. Which advertisement he didn't say, right? Because I need to figure out myself what kind. And he said, go to art universities and post some advertisement there.
Yeah, I remember you told me that, but I actually thought that this is the guy was from here, and you kind of like met him here. I didn't know that it was whole like back trip to Ukraine and like rediscovering
it's
yourself.
The same like Jobs went to India to understand how to make Apple again here.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same thing. So I came here and I actually understood what I needed to write in the advertisement, and we did it with Ira, with my wife, and we posted.
And she supported you because you told her the story.
We was together, right? And so in Ukraine also I realized that I need to return and work on my startup, kind of like one of my startups, to actually start to implementing it. And I started to do it right after coming, like in January 2016. And so I don't want to disclose what exactly I wrote in the advertisement, but so everyone should understand, right?
No, I remember what you wrote.
No, it's not disclosure information, right?
I think it was amazing because I remember it still, and I'm going to remember for the rest of the day. It was short and like really on point, right?
And remember the moment when we both realized that we both kind of Russians. You didn't expect this guy to be Russian. I didn't expect you to be Russian because in your Skype, whatever, it didn't seem like you're Russian, right? Mm-hmm. It was like Kiev or something, KF11 or something like that.
Yeah.
Right? So I thought, I'm talking with some American guy, right? But you probably saw my...
Because advertisement was in English, right?
Yeah, but you probably saw my name, so you understood, okay, I'm Russian.
But I didn't. It wasn't an advertisement, right?
No, but when we were talking in Skype.
Yeah, immediately I was just like, this is strange, this like guy, like, who is this guy? So yeah, like from my side, I was hanging out in this university and like was there for a movie night actually, and yeah, I went to this basement. There is this. It was a break actually for university. It was a single student, and I saw this like a piece of paper on the wall and saying, looking for a special developer.
Wait, dude, wait. We thought not this
Not
code.
this code. I think it's amazing.
Okay, up to you. It's kind of like disclosing super secrets of,
Super secret.
of how to get access to the San Francisco.
Ah,
Right.
but this is the most interesting part. Okay, I'm not going to disclose it anyway because I think it's pretty amazing and it's pretty beautiful. It's like looking for a developer for a special kind of art project. And I was just, oh, this is weird. And not even the text of advertisement was kind of weird, but
The font?
the fact itself that it was just lonely on the wall because you guys like spent the time during the spring break or something like that. And it's just like the stupidest time to actually put your advertisement because there's no one in the
I
room.
didn't know about that
Yeah.
at all.
But so yeah, we hooked up with Sergei the day after he told me about his ideas, and we kind of
But
had a lot
you
of
but you
points.
weren't, like, impressed by my ideas.
I wasn't particularly impressed by like the one idea that you were trying to promote, but I was impressed by a lot of sort of connection points and a lot of opportunities that you trying to, like a lot of different ways that you're trying to go. Yeah, but what like tell me about like what like bring you here. You said like you come here for this like a year and you spend a year without discovering San Francisco and you got it on this way. But what happened like before that? Like I actually don't know the story like when you were back and.
So right before just Ira was, so our lease period was over in Sunnyvale half a year.
Mhm.
And Ira was pushing me to move to San Francisco. She wanted to go, and I wasn't sure because
But-
all my
yeah. But what even before that, like you come to Sunny Valley, like was it like a big step for you, or like in terms of your life, like changing the location?
Yes, because
From
this is the
the-
first time.
You know, leaving all like friends and stuff like that.
Yeah. It was the first time when I started to live in different country and like completely different continent.
Was it your first experience living in a different country?
Yeah, before I was living only for 1 month in Belgium. But it
Belgium?
was, yeah,
Oh,
Belgium, yeah,
interesting.
maybe 1 month and that's it, and not in very boring city, not even in Brussels, in some small city, so it was completely different experience. And here I kind of knew that I came to the best, maybe one of the best places in the world because it's California. Lots of stuff was born here.
So did you heard about California before? Because for me,
Yeah,
like
dude.
when I first came to California, to San Francisco, I knew absolutely nothing. And I think a lot of my friends back in Russia, they don't know about California. They didn't know about San Francisco, right? They heard about maybe Silicon Valley, like startups, but
Hollywood.
Hollywood, yeah.
Right.
But the picture of people who were like, living in those places, like remote places, Russia, Siberia, like even Ukraine, right? Which I think more like close to Europe, more sort of modern. Still, like people have like really distorted picture of those places, like Hollywood, right? And what was your sort of pictures, like how you were imagining that?
Yeah. So actually,
you know a lot of stuff.
my dream started back in Ukraine during Maidan, to start work on some projects like changing the world projects, right? And I kind of felt that in California there should be lots of people who are the same as me, right? Who want to start social changing projects. Let's say new couch surfing.
But why California? Why do you even like have this? Like
Because-
you read like a magazine, or maybe it was like a TV show that you watch.
Because I just knew that we will cut that. We will cut.
Sure. Yeah.
Да, Ира. Мы записываем интервью с Кириллом, да. То есть просто приходите. Давай.
So this thing.
Started to
Yeah. How do you even discover this place called California, and like, because you need to come across, like you need to be exposed to media. Did you like read in a book or like watch it like TV? Like when you were a kid, like how early this like
I
knowledge
think I started to distinguish California from two things: a computer game Fallout and computer game Duke Nukem 3D.
That's nice. So what was this game? I played Duke Nukem a little bit, but never played Fallout. I know it was like
So,
epic game.
in Duke Nukem they have reference to lots of stuff, including big fall like right here, right, like this San Andreas Fault.
Right.
Yeah. They simulated this, and I don't know. They simulated the just the environment of California, right? All these rocks, like brown rocks and stuff. And about Fallout, so Fallout has a map, right? It's like RPG game. So it has a map when you have the same cities as in California. You have San Francisco, you have Vegas, and they call it New Vegas. You have even small one like Arroyo. I think Arroyo is something in California as well. And they have red with mines, the city with mines, Reading. You also have Reading.
So when you kind of started like playing those games as a kid or a teenager, you're just like, wow, that's like, what are all these like places of references you start looking up?
Yeah, because all cities, they kind of like, let's say in Reading you have mines.
Yeah.
In San Francisco you have docks and like Embarcadero kind of stuff, right? And you hear the sounds of this, you know, like a tram. And in San Francisco, you have lots of, you know, not like fights. They organize like a boxing.
Yeah.
Probably this was also in San Francisco before, you know, like.
Interesting.
Yeah, and like in Vegas, you have casinos, obviously, right? So you're kind of starting to feel like, what is California, right? So about different spirits of different parts of California. And yeah, and also this was one of my favorite games, and I was like played this lots of times, and yeah, and I never read books about California or talking about YouTube blogs. It was just a blog of some guy who is actually like, he organizes a school for QA engineers.
It wasn't even popular at that time. Like what year are we like talking about? It was like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
Like maybe even like before you were like inspired, before like playing those games. Like when like Fallout 1, when you're playing Fallout 1, YouTube wasn't even like there.
Yes. Yeah, I'm thinking about later.
Yeah. The later there's blogs.
Yeah, but so I tell you this. I started to listen to watch YouTube videos about California, right? Like a video blogs.
About podcasts.
Only like a year ago before coming here. But I was inspired by Hollywood movies a lot, and also I knew that. So not only computer games were born here, also movies and also computer graphics was born here. When I was also a big fan of computer graphics, I used 3D Max and all this stuff.
That's cool.
And I loved it always, and all these computer graphics and post productions, because my wife is also working in post production, right? It was, everything is interesting.
Yeah, you told me you were the guy who like read the book and you didn't have a computer.
Yes, about 3D Max.
3D Max.
I was the only probably guy in the world who was reading about 3D Max, not being able to launch 3D Max. And I read the book like from the, you know, like from A to Z, like everything, and I kind of like, yeah, and I was dreaming about the moment
where you can actually start using that.
Yeah, so I went to my friends' houses, you know, and I like begged them, hey, please launch 3D Max. And they was like, oh, let's play just, you know, let's play
some games.
Play games, heroes or whatever. And I was like, oh, please, let me just like create some, you know, small, you know, like model, you know, like something like that. Yeah, it was so funny. And before that, I begged them to be able to program a little bit, to write code. Imagine, I was also reading books about development without computer.
This is what I think you told me.
Yeah, without computer as well. Oh no, actually I had a shitty computer. I had the Spectrum Sinclair, and that time I was writing in BASIC, and after that I didn't have computer for a long time, and then my parents actually bought computer only because I like swear that I will become a developer, right? But again,
you did
No, again. So I during that time I was only a gamer.
Right.
I didn't want to be a developer.
But you weren't like saying like, oh, I need it for school. You know, most of the kids would say like, Mom, like I need a computer for school.
Yes, sounds like that. Yes, of course. And so only the moments when I wanted to become a developer so badly was moments when I didn't have access to computer actually. Because right now, right, when I'm a developer, I am no more like it, right? I don't care about, you know, development. just like a tool, you know, it's a boring tool. Like writing code is kind of boring to me. Maybe, you know, working on social startups, like your own things, would be way more interesting.
Yeah, I think there's a way to regain it, you know, as you're saying, it's more tool and craft, and it's dependent on the underlying project that you're working on. You get just excited about idea.
So I'm excited that right now Bubble exists, and with Bubble you can create websites without coding even. So it's kind of like accessible to more people, and it's way more fun. Way more fun.
That's cool. Yeah, I use Weebly for personal thing, and I know you use like Squarespace and stuff like that.
No, I never use. I use Bubble.
Bubble.
Bubble is also.
Yeah, your personal website is on the.
No, it's a static.
Static.
It's just HTML.
Looks pretty cool.
But it loads in less than a second. Then.
Yeah.
Right. There's actually a movement to static websites, right? Because they load so fast. And Bubble, I developed the startup for my friend using Bubble. And I'm really looking forward to use it a lot in the future to develop any, product, web-based, like. Because you don't need to deal about, like login, authorization, database. Everything is created already. You just click button, let's say, login with Facebook, and it's already working.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
I think like all this thing that you're saying, about like 3 days max and like the passion about computers and all that. This is kind of like what make me interested into your personality when we first talked, because I like recognize you like. I used to have like all of my friends, like not all of them, but some of my friends back at home when I grew up, the computer was like really like novel thing, right? And they some of the people start interested in going computer clubs, like playing Counter-Strike, all these popular games.
But I was an administrator in these clubs.
And yeah, you were even like a sysadmin, and we were kind of going to this club, and a few of my buddies also were like sysadmin there, and this kind of. And like entire like culture, right? That like right now, like it's no longer there. Computer is not like something that you like noble to own, and just it's great, yeah. And we have this common like history.
Yeah, being an admin is one of the best time in my not childhood but in my life. It was one of the best time because I met so amazing people. I met a guy who just also changed my life completely because he was a security in this club, right? But he ended up to be a chief editor-in-chief in a very cool magazine, and so he also invited me to this magazine.
So back in Kyiv.
Yeah, so I became a journalist, for some time, for a year maybe, and I also met one girl who became my girlfriend for a couple
I mean,
years.
it's cool even though it started like a games, right? But it's become like what it become, right? Like right now, like you just here in Ukraine doing this cool development stuff. That's pretty amazing. So did it took you long to actually get here? And so what was your sort of timeline when you moved from Kyiv here? And was it difficult emotionally?
I just remember my first day when I came out of the hotel, and I kind of. I'm feeling this smell, of the trees, I see like squirrels, and this first day was like a big, like very impressive for me.
So that was in the sunny valley.
Yeah, it was in Mountain View. Yeah,
Mountain View.
Hotel was there, and the first day I was really impressed.
Squirrels.
and imagine, in first day, I bought like an iPhone, bike. And I was able also to bike a little bit, and I biked to Google and back.
How long was
to Google was like 20 minutes, and it's like just like bicycle lane all the time.
Well, that's good. I can imagine it was kind of like exciting and easy way.
Yeah, I was like, wow, it's possible to bike to Google not using roads at all, only bike paths. It was so cool.
And Mountain View is such a like nice and chill place. I guess when you arrive, you like feel safe and weather is nice. But maybe after a while, you get bored.
Because like going to San Francisco, this started like when Iran actually came in a month, something like that. And she came to San Francisco first before me, and so when we came to San Francisco, she kind of like started to show me some districts, and I was shocked. I was like, how? Like there's like bad roads, like trash, homeless everywhere.
So you was this type of guy who would like go to San Francisco, look at all
and blame like and
it's dirty, all the homeless people.
And bad traffic, and then expensive parking, no parking. Oh my God, it's not possible. Some people in Sunnyvale and like Mountain View, they still think that it's not possible to park in San Francisco at all. In any time of the day and night. Yeah, so much stress. Oh my God, I'd rather go to like this like specialized parking buildings, to not even try to find parking on the street, you know, these kind of guys. And when I told them about my experience in San Francisco, they always look at me like, oh, I had to go to San Francisco. I'm so, you know, unlucky, right? Probably I was struggling in traffic and like homeless people begging money from me and something like that. And then after some time, after a couple of months, I said, what do you think actually to move about moving to San Francisco? And they was like, are you crazy? Are you mad? You want to move to San Francisco, dude? It's like you live right now 10 minutes from your work and you want to commute like an hour?
You know, it's also interesting to me that it's all the same area, like all this Bay Area close, and like when you first moved here, you think like, oh, it's all the same. Like, what's the difference between like San Francisco, Mountain View? Those all places, you know, relatively close together, and you think like the culture is the same. But
No.
because of those differences in the actual like a lifestyle and you know just in the infrastructure and the wealth, I guess it's create like a big difference. And
But also imagine like these places like Silicon Valley before, it was kind of like a Moffat airfield, and probably like the personnel working on the Moffat, and this is where all these things started, right? All these cities, San Jose and Mountain View and Sunnyvale. So and then the IT era came, right? Started, right? And so they never had like art, let's say, on that territory. Never. It was just nothing, and then IT.
right.
Right,
Well,
and here before IT it was art.
Yeah.
So this San Francisco is by default different than there, right? And now art goes somewhere north. IT comes more and more and more and more taking.
So tell me about a little bit about the like how you find this opportunity, because so for me, like my personal journey, it was difficult to find like any like jobs opportunity here, and because the jobs opportunity related to a visa. If you don't have like a job, you don't have a visa, and you can go here as a tourist. And you know, like everybody has their own ways, and I have a lot of friends, and they have different types of visa. So what is that for you? Like how like difficult is that? And like I know you work with this company EPAM.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it was
Just a few words on that.
So there is like two sides of the model, right, of the coin. Some people get here like hard, but then they find their own, you know, maybe cool, interesting way. And to me, it was the opposite, right? I came
was easy?
I came here very easy, and also continued to be like in easy, like be an employee and making like pretty good money, but never feeling happy, right? Because of always being kind of like controlled by something.
I think to be honest, I think it's never easy, right? Even if you have all your things set up, because it's a cultural change and you start thinking about life, or you like, oh, you know, I work day in, day out, and you know, nothing happening. And this is all emotional, you know, stress and
maybe
like lead you to personal growth that you can overcome.
See this thing, because since I'm not struggling, everything is kind of easy. So my brain is kind of not working fully, right? And also making good money is like, it's like instead of just solving some issue, you just wait for your next payroll always. And this kind of thinking is very, very bad for your brain. It kind of become dumb.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to quit this as soon as possible, right?
So, but like, would you think about any like different ways, or you think, you know, it's a decent way to actually come, like if you want to, you know, work and live in San Francisco, California, or anywhere in America, just kind of follow this path, or you would like, if you do it again, would you do it different?
So first of all, if I do it again, I would first come to America to explore a little bit, right? To choose the city when I want to.
Before, right, as a tourist.
Yeah. So I wouldn't probably already have chosen San Francisco, and so when I came, I would already came straight to San Francisco.
Did you have like a actual opportunity or financial freedom to do that when you were back in Kyiv?
Yes, but I never thought that I will come to America. I always was thinking that I will come to Europe, right? And I will live there.
Are you like a traveler guy?
Yes, I traveled in Europe a lot. I traveled almost the whole Europe, and so I never actually like it was like America was always too far, especially California, so far, right?
Yeah, I think this is the reason why many people don't visit it. Most of my friends never been here, and the one who visit, it's just like one or two, and that's it. And that was big investment for them. Just the money wise,
Yeah.
especially, right? If
Yeah.
you're living in a place like Russia or Ukraine, it's a big deal for you to get like first like $1,000 for a ticket,
Yeah.
and then like everything here is really expensive for.
And then and what's the different the reason to come here, right? Like okay, spending $1,000.
Yeah, and
for
do
what?
like see like American Dream or something, maybe, you know. Some people, yeah,
Yeah,
doesn't make sense.
So I came to America like first time and straight to this employment and straight to unknown, and so I had to just spend lots of time figuring out what I really want to do here, and I kind of like started to feel only like a year ago after Burning Man, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and for all my life I thought that I just need to become a developer and that's it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I can retire or what, I don't know.
So this is actually interesting, like to see like you said actually like your turn started when like you this advertisement and like how like why you met me. This was like a part of all this starting this new journey of new life, right? Meeting this guy back in Kiev, and so what other things kind of spark this the journey, and how it's like was so far, like the beginning of the journey.
Mhm.
Since like you met this guy, went back, like
Mhm.
realized that this is all boring, I want to change something. What was your like steps to actually do that?
So I met you and I met Jacob, and all that put new like energy to my parties first of all, and I started to think, oh, so probably people love what I'm doing, so it's cool. So maybe I should still continue with doing more art. Let's say maybe doing more photography, maybe doing video, maybe doing more parties.
Mm-hmm.
So I started to concentrate on parties, and then we met Merchants of Reality.
But you were doing party long before that, like
Not very long, maybe like a couple of months before.
Mm.
Yeah, I started parties November 14, and I met you in January 15. No, actually no. So yeah, end of year before, right? So
Mm-hmm.
and we met Measures of Reality, and after hanging out there for some time, we understood, wow, it's something very interesting going on here, right? In this Measures of Reality, it looks like this is a real artist
Mm-hmm.
that we were trying to find before, right? And we really wanted to collaborate with them on something, and I think we started to collaborate on this Earth Day Film Festival after that.
The first project.
First a real big project.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we were jamming in the studio there, creating our tracks with Ira, right, with Jacob.
The music.
Yes, we started to make music, and we continued with parties somewhere like by Kitsch and all these places, right? And then Burning Man,
Mhm.
and then like in summer, we started to prepare for Burning Man.
So was it organic for you to go to a Burning Man? Were you like thinking about it for a while? It's like a pretty new idea for you.
I was very curious to go there, but I didn't know when.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, when all this art, started to increase in me, in us, in our small like band,
Yeah.
I thought like, wow, like Burning Man should be a super cool, continuation of all that, right? Natural, growth of all
Mhm.
that. And we started to prepare for Burning Man since July.
Yeah, I know you really got serious into this Burning Man preparation.
July,
Like
dude, imagine.
meeting people, going to all these pre-parties and.
Yeah, pre-parties, and then I was working on Tesla coil. I went there like at least a couple times per week.
Mhm.
Like every week to disassemble Tesla.
It was in
coil.
Auckland, right?
Yeah, in Auckland, it's like pretty, far, and yeah, like I was going there and meeting these burners, trying to understand what this Burning Man is about, right?
Mhm.
And it was really cool time. Yeah, and then the actual Burning Man and a decompression time, like understanding what was happening there, and like all these new ideas that was born, and then I started suddenly after that I met the Simbi.com website and started to also do lots of alternative economy.
Right.
Yeah, and also I was working on project for my friend, right?
This is another story. I want to discuss this Simbi thing. Let's break for 5-10 minutes and we can talk about Simbi and
Sure,
and
yeah.
kind of more
Sounds good.
future stuff.